So as you may have seen from my other videos, I'm a bit of an Alpkit fan. I've had an Alpkit cook system for many years. They basically are very similar to the Jetboils, except quite a lot cheaper, nearly half the price in fact. And this is my second one. This is sent to replace a Brukit Jackal that I had. Now the Jackal is a slightly smaller one-person version of the Brukit. It was made for a number of years, but they stopped selling it about 2 or 3 years ago. There was a fault with a very small batch of them. I don't know if that's why they stopped making them, but there was an issue where they wouldn't seal properly on some gas canisters. And in fact, that was the problem with mine. I didn't realise that initially. I had it for several years, but with just certain brands of gas canister, it would not seal correctly. Luckily, this never happened to me when I needed it. It's never happened on a multi-day trip or anything. It just happened. I was car camping. I picked up some gas canisters from an outdoor shop, and the particular brand just didn't work. Every other canister I'd used prior to that point had been totally fine. I was really happy with the cook system. It was a cook system I took on my section hike in the Appalachian Trail in 2019, for example. Really happy with it. Now, because there was a fault with it, Alpkit were very happy to exchange it. That was not a problem. The problem was, if you like to see it as a problem, is that there wasn't a replacement. They don't do the Jackal anymore. They only do the standard Brukit, which is a little bit bigger. It's more of a two-person one. It's rated at 1500 watts. It's 515 grams in total. We're going to check that. But it is a complete system, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So let's open it up. They have their thing called the Alpine Bond, which is their guarantee. It's really good. One reason worth paying for Alpkit, including in addition to all their ethical standards, so that's really good. So this is what the package looks like. Okay, it's a typical Jetboil style with a silicone style lid. There is a stuff sack. Personally, I never tend to use the stuff sacks for various reasons. It does come with a gas canister holder, fold-out gas canister holder. They're really useful on uneven ground. Sometimes you have to pay extra for those. You certainly do with things like the Jetboil, for example. So nice to be in the packet. The pot itself is aluminium. It's got fold-out handles, so you can grab it while it's cooking and not get burnt. They're covered in silicone, and it's got a neoprene thermal insulation on the pot itself. I noticed on this one it's non-removable. On the Jackal it did have some Velcro fastening, so you could remove it and wash it if it got dirty. So this looks like a little bit more tricky to clean if it was ever dirty. So that's the pot. The pot has got markings inside. So I think normally it's a 1.3 litre. It's a 1200 milliliter pot. It marks up to 1 litre, and I think 1 litre is the maximum they recommend filling it to. But it is marked in 250 ml increments. It's got a heat exchanger at the bottom in typical Jetboil style. Then you've got the main body, which includes the burner. It's got pitot ignition as well, so you don't need to carry matches or a lighter, although it's always useful to have a secondary source. It's the button for it there. Gas canister, screw-on thread, and regulator. So self-contained, very straightforward. Not perhaps the lightest unit, but it seems robust. Alpkit also throw in the optional pot stands, which you normally have to pay extra for. So this has fold-out arms, and then you attach this to the burner. And that means that you can use any pot with this system. You don't have to use the included pot if you don't want to. So it's nice that that's included. Again, it adds to the weight though. only take that if you don't think you're going to be using the other pot. So for example, if you're going to be using a frying pan, it's a useful thing to have, but otherwise I tend to do all my cooking in here. And in fact, what I tend to do is actually just boil water. So I tend to use rehydrated meals if I'm doing an overnight. It saves on having to do the washing up, for example, and the pot stays really clean because you only have the boiling water in it. And same for drinking. I tend to take a separate drinking cup, so I never have to drink out of the actual pot, although you could do that. It's a very large cup, but it is doable. So we're going to be using this a little bit later on. The pot and the base attached by this simple twist mechanism. Once attached, it's pretty tough. Twist, unlock. My Jackal, the one I had before, was a little bit loose on that, and that was a bit of a concern with it before, but it never let me down. It never fell over, it never fell off by accident. So this seems a little bit more robust. Okay, as you can see, it's never been used. The burner is brand new. So we will be trying this out a little later to boil some water, see how long that takes. The lid is just a standard silicone lid. It's got a vent hole / slip hole, so you could drink off this, but as I say, I tend to carry a separate mug for making brews. So how much does it weigh? Well, let's find out. So the accessory for pan holder for extra pots and pans, that weighs 63 grams. You don't need to take that with you unless you specifically need to, so that's some weight you can save. The bag, give or take, it's 20 grams, just over 15 actually. So whether you use that or not, I don't know. Typically Alpkit bags are big enough to get the item in very easily, so you don't have to worry about whether you can get it back in there. It certainly will fit, and there'll be room, in fact, for some extra bits and pieces like a spoon. The lid comes in at 35 grams. Now that is optional in the sense that you don't need it to boil water, but it will water quicker if you do have the lid on. So it will save you some fuel, so it probably is worth taking that. The burner itself comes in exactly 200 grams, 201 grams. That's heavier than the Brukit Jackal I had before, but it is bigger and faster burning, hopefully. The pot, you won't be able to see that. That comes in at 230 grams. It is aluminium. It's got the handles, it's got the neoprene coats, and it's got heat exchangers. So it's going to be more heavy than a titanium pot, for example. If you go for a Toke's 550 milliliter titanium pot, it's going to be, I don't know, quarter, a third of the weight of that. But this is bigger, has got a heat exchanger in it. So it's not designed to be ultra lightweight, but it is quite lightweight. The optional gas canister holder, just hold that down so it fits on the scales. That goes to 30 grams. Again, you don't have to take that. I like to. It does make it much more stable when you're using gas stoves. So there you have it. Let's put it all together. Let's see how much it weighs when fully assembled. Okay, so let's include the lid and the burner and the gas canister stand. Are we going to be able to see the weight? And just about. So it comes in at 495 grams. So it is half a kilo. It's quite a lot for a cook system. However, this is a 2-person cook system. So if I was doing solo, I wouldn't be using this. I'd probably be using a more lightweight stove. Still a gas canister stove though. I never fell in love with meth stoves, although I have got 2 and I might try them again. So in fact, this was the very same gas canister that proved my Alpkit Jackal was faulty and leaking. It's working totally fine on this burner, so that's good. So we're going to fill the pot with exactly 500 mils of water. and see how long it takes to boil. So I missed that, it's boiling already. It boiled so quickly. So I'll set a timer on that, but that's pretty quick. So there you have it. First impressions of the Alpkit Brukit, sort of, because I've had the Alpkit Brukit Jackal before. I was really happy with that until I came across the gas canister it wouldn't work with. I'm sure I'm not going to have any problems with the Brukit, but it is larger, it is heavier. For me, it's not going to be the great personal stove system. I'm going to keep it for trips where there's 2 people going. I think that'll be perfect for that. It's a great size for 2 people. So I'm looking for something slightly smaller next time. But comparing the Brukit with its kind of contemporaries, there's several other sort of generic unbranded ones available on eBay that are a similar sort of thing, and I suspect Alpkit also source theirs from China in the same way they many do. In terms of branded stuff, the MSR have their WindBurner personal stove system, which is very nice apparently. Same sort of size, same sort of burn times, times to heat water, about 2.5 minutes for half a litre. But it is much more expensive than the Alpkit. Of course, there's Jetboil, the people that started the whole market really. The latest version, the Flash, is comparable. It's slightly smaller. It's only a 0.8 litre instead of a 1 litre container. But it is a little bit quicker. It's over 2.5 kilowatts of power. I think it boils water in, they claim, 100 seconds for half a litre, which is pretty quick. That would probably concern me a little bit if I was trying to simmer something in the pot, but it may be that you can't turn it down as low. But as I said, I mostly boil water, so it's not going to be a problem for that. The main advantage of the Flash is that it is lighter. It's less than 400 grams all in for the equivalent thing, so it's 20% lighter. But it is twice as expensive, so depending on your budgets, the Brukit is an excellent all-rounder for the price. If you need something a little bit smaller and lighter, maybe go for the Jetboil. I'm not a big fan of a separate burner and pot. They always, on uneven ground, they always fall off. Risk of injury, risk of setting fire to nearby leaves and twigs. So I'm not a big fan of separate components. I do like a combined cook system. I would definitely recommend the Brukit based on what I've seen so far, but I'll hopefully give you a long-term update when I've been using it for a while.